All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Finally, this is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and I've been toying around with ideas of what was going to be my first video back after a while, and it wasn't until this morning when I was told that Aaron Rodgers wants to be on Game of Thrones. He's rumored to be in episode 5. And so I finally found something that not everybody has talked to death about, because that was one of my biggest issues, was creating content that is no different than anybody else's. Everybody seems to just be saying the same things over and over and over and over and over again. And if you're one of those people that already knows how bad things have gotten, it's kind of hard to just keep watching that kind of video. If you're one of those people that needs a few videos to pound it into your head that Game of Thrones is not good anymore, then I worry for you. You should probably have a brain scan. But then I heard about this morning. Game of Thrones is reportedly going to have Aaron Rodgers in its either 5th or 6th episode. Mostly saying the 5th. And I just thought how fitting this is. This is going to be my first video back, talking about Aaron Rodgers wanting to be on Game of Thrones, or supposedly going to be. And I just feel like this is the one thing that nobody's talked about yet. And to me, this just kind of puts the nail in the coffin. If you didn't know that Game of Thrones sucked now, you do now. Before, you do now. If you are an Aaron Rodgers fan and a Green Bay Packers fan, that's fine. And seeing this would be kind of a big deal for you guys. You know, it's like, wow. You know, nobody's asking the Bears' Mitch Trubisky to be in Game of Thrones. But the self-imposed king of the North America, because Green Bay is in North America, it's the north of our north. The only further north we get is Canada and the Arctic. It's fitting that this once great quarterback who has overstayed his welcome like the previous quarterback is now dressing up like Jon Snow on his Iron Throne, which looks like it's in his freaking kitchen, very well lit kitchen. And I just feel like this just says it right here. They're gonna have like Ed Sheeran. I didn't know who he was until it was pointed out to me. But Aaron Rodgers being on Game of Thrones just really says, screw you to everyone. Who's gonna be in the finale? Donald Trump? And so that's it. Like, this is just my little test. Like, what do you guys think of this? Doesn't this just like prove how nothing makes sense? That they're just gonna do whatever. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers comes up and like starts shooting magic out of his fingers at this point, and he cracks his head open and a UFO flies out. Because that's where we're at with Game of Thrones, where it's just if it gets written down on the page, it's gonna show up on the show. But, you know, and he's not CGI, so maybe Jon Snow will pet him. I don't know. But it's just the most ridiculous thing going into episode 5. Like, as if we didn't need more reasons to not care. To be more ambivalent and angry about where this show is going to leave us. We have this now. And so I just want to say, like, after this show ends, and ends badly, and they plan on making more shows based on this IP, the responsibility to us as viewers to not watch it, I think, is very important. I think HBO needs to get sent a message, because HBO used to mean something, you know, with The Sopranos and 6 Feet Under and The Wire, and whether you like it or not, Sex and the City. It used to mean something. And lately, it hasn't. Their shows have been disappointing. They've been canceled. If you look at their content, I've been going through their content and going, wow, you know what? They really only had that one great time period. You know, in the very early 2000s up till like about when The Sopranos ended. They haven't really, Game of Thrones' first 4 seasons was, you know, and the show is a ratings darling, of course, but quality and of the content on HBO has not been that great. They've got some great documentaries and stuff like that, but their series, man, their series have not been that great. And this is an indication. I mean, they'll let this guy be on the show, you know, but they'll cut the budget because we're going to watch anyway. And so my message at the end of this is, if we really want to send a message to HBO, stop watching. Cancel your HBO accounts. Let them put out this shit and don't acknowledge it. But we can't do that, can we? That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is a bunch of people are going to hate watch and then just make joke videos about it and how far HBO has fallen and oh no. Well, I'm just here to make this video to tell you, let's stop the cycle. If you really, like Daenerys talked about doing, like breaking the wheel, well, let's break this wheel and stop supporting a channel that must sound like I'm talking about my channel. Stop watching HBO for a while. Let them know that if you're not going to put out good content, if you're not going to hire people that know how to write something other than someone else's material, and if they run out of source material, it's going to turn into like a shit show. There was something that somebody was saying recently about how, you know, you shouldn't try to adapt something that's not finished. And God damn it, they're right. I mean, I've been saying this for a while, not on here, but just in general, that what's going to happen when they catch up to the books? And I've said that it's going to be fan service, and everybody's saying it's fan service, but I was still trying to give it a chance. And it wasn't until episode 3 of the 8th season that just made me go, this show is not good anymore. And it made it impossible to watch episode 4 without seeing everything. And I'm not saying there wasn't things that I saw in season 7 with, like I've talked about, with the Gendry and his, you know, freaking teleportation and stuff like that. But if this is how HBO is going to treat us, if this is how people like Benioff and Weiss are going to treat us, if this is like 9 years, if you count the time that, you know, it's actually been in hiatus, right? 9 years now? That's almost a decade of our lives, you know, sitting around waiting for a show. And while the majority of it, or at least half of it, has been good, and even more of that, like, I like that Arya killed the Night King. I don't understand how she did it, but I did like it. But you have to be better at storytelling. And they're clearly not good at it. I've posted in other people's videos. These are the guys who sewed Deadpool's mouth shut. Or at least one of them. At least one of them did. So, and then they're supposed to be in charge of Star Wars? I'm already on my last legs with Star Wars. And now, well, I'm curious of the response of this is going to affect their Star Wars trilogy. Because, I mean, when we're not the silent majority now screaming at this. So I would bet dollars to donuts that there's going to be some stuff flying around about Weiss and Benioff in Star Wars, because Disney wants to make money. And with Rian Johnson being, let's just say he's been put into question. And Solo failing, and you know, with all the problems with that, do they really want to put these two guys in charge of another beloved series? And I just feel like it has to be no, right? It has to be no. And so that's it. I just wanted to make a video to kind of like stretch my vocal cords and talk about some stuff, and hopefully get myself motivated to back into making some content, because it just hasn't been there. I have a lot to say, but things have been tough. Had a rough couple of weeks. And Avengers Endgame, while I've seen it 3 times, I have not been able to sit down and make a video for it, or episode 3 and 4 of Game of Thrones, because it's been done to death. And I'm going to do those videos on my own time. They'll be for the people who subscribe to my channel and not the whole world. Because it's just, if only 30 people are going to watch my videos, or so, you know, 30 people, like my hardcore viewers, you know who you are, okay? I would say all your names, but you know who you are. Anyway. So I'm going to make the content that I want to make for the people that want to show up and watch it. And it's just been about getting motivated to do it. So anyway, that's it. Aaron Rodgers is going to score a touchdown. No, he's going to get an interception. I don't know anymore. It's just such a shit show. So anyway, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying, what the hell? And have a great day. Bye.